Commissioners Finance Committee to order. Would you please call the roll?
Taylor? Here. Long?
Here.
Powell?
Here.
Cavell? Smith Charles?
Present.
Spiz is absent with notice. Markham?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I'd like to take a moment of personal privilege to ask us to have a moment of silence for one of our former members, Shelley Taub, who passed away yesterday.
Yeah, last night.
She was a longtime member of this committee, and she, we all knew her, and she just really loved Oakland County, and
Oh, she.
so let's have a moment of silence. Okay, yeah, I'm sure we'll be hearing details about
Yeah,
the
they'll send it.
services soon.
It's Sunday already. It's
Is it
already
this
out.
Sunday?
All the staff send it out. Yeah, it's this Sunday.
Okay. All right then, yeah, I knew she was sick, I'm sorry.
Good, we lost her.
She lost her husband just not too long ago too,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I thought.
Yep.
Okay, so next up, we have approval of the, previous minutes. I'll take a motion. Moved by Commissioner Taylor, supported by Commissioner Long. Are there any comments on the previous minutes? All in favor of approving the previous minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes stand approved. Next up, we have approval of the agenda. Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Taylor. Any additions or changes to the agenda? Seeing none, I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, the agenda is approved for today. Next, we have our first public comment. Anyone in the room who cares to, or on the screen, who cares to speak to us in public comment, now is the time. We'll give you 3 minutes. Seeing no one, I will close our first public comment and we will move into item number 7, appropriation of 7A, appropriation of American Rescue Plan Act local fiscal recovery funds. I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Cheryl Johnson, Deputy CFO. I also understand Mr. Carlson is online if we have any additional questions about Thrive. This resolution is taking the money that was allocated to Thrive and we're allocating it to payroll so that we can use it as revenue loss and then we can extend, it's gonna still be used for Thrive, but then it'll be just coming out of the general fund and we can extend the deadline of December 26th for using the fund so that we can carry it out further.
So wait, we're taking.
Does anybody have any comments or any discussion they want to have on this item?
So we're taking 18 million.
So just to restate it, we have 18 million that is ARPA funds that we are obligated to commit by the end of 2026.
We've already obligated.
But instead, we're gonna take those funds and apply them to revenue loss, which was a legitimate ARPA expense. And then those funds will be put into our general fund and continue to be used for the purposes of supporting the Thrive organization. But because they would be coming out of the general fund, we would no longer be constrained to that December 2026 deadline for spending all of it. So,
And what this resolution does, it's not the full 18 million. We have about 5.8 left of Thrive.
Okay.
So we have, from October to December, we've identified 5.8 in wages that we're going to apply that to, so that'll cover those wages. And then the general fund dollars that would have covered those wages is going into the general fund. And the other part of this is the board allocating that 5.8 then to Thrive. So it's not gonna sit in the general fund long, we're just kind of moving it around. And I can answer any questions, I know that was kind of quick and dirty.
That was good.
Everybody clear?
Better than the resolution.
Okay, if there's no questions, let's go ahead and prompt the vote.
And you said you was joined by Sean?
Yeah, Sean, I believe is caller number 1.
Do you have a
Hello,
question?
Sean. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay, yeah.
Commissioner Powell.
Yeah,
Just wanted to say hi to my buddy. Hi.
Check and see if he was really there. Yeah.
I really feel like Sean's got my back right now.
Yeah.
I'm just patiently waiting for this vote.
We had a unanimous vote in the positive manner, so motion carries.
Thank you.
And you can get on your plane, Mr. Carlson.
Oh, he's heading out.
All right, thank you very much.
Travels.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, next up, we have item 8, A, B, and C, communications. I'll take a motion to receive and file. Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Taylor. Does anybody want to speak on any of these items? Any questions? It's the appointment to the audit subcommittee,
Yolanda and Mike Spitz.
the first quarter service agreement report, 2025, and the first quarter master plan executive summary for 2025. These are all in the packet. If nobody has any questions, let's go ahead and prompt the vote on all 3.
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, motion carries.
Let's see if he can.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have item 9A, departmental recommendations, the interlocal agreement for attorney performance evaluations.
This one we don't know about. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'll take a motion, moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name's Pete Mena. I manage the Indigent Defense Services Office. Welcome, Commissioner Taylor. I don't come to this committee often. Usually I'm only here to apply for and accept our state grant that we get every year. So I am not here very often, but the reason I'm here today is because as part of our indigent defense standards that we have to comply with this year, the attorney evaluation and performance standard is taking effect. And what that means is we have to develop a program to do comprehensive performance evaluations of all of our independent contractor attorneys who are providing criminal defense services. So of course, we do that for the 6th Circuit Court and the 52nd District Court because those are county funded. During planning last year, we spoke with all of the other district courts in the county. There's 10 other district courts that manage their own misdemeanor caseload. And we said, you know, we're planning to hire this employee. We think we're gonna have the capacity to assist you with your evaluations because a lot of the attorneys that are on our list are also practicing in those other non-county courts as well. And so most of the systems were appreciative of that. We're providing it at no charge. Our employee is funded through the state grant, and she has the capacity to do this. So this isn't costing the other funding units any money. We have 6 of the 10 interlocals returned to us. Those are the 6 that are in the packet, and then the 4 outstanding. The resolution would give the board chair the authority to sign those as long as they meet the template agreement that Corp Counsel has approved.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any questions? Commissioner Taylor?
Not a question, but I was going through, and of course, when I looked at the agreement with Southfield, on page 7, the date that it looks like Kildren Rondo, or I can't even make the name, and it's not typed at underneath for the
Okay.
witness. They have the date of 0 for the
Okay.
month. And if this is gonna be a permanent record, you wanna correct that.
Yes, I will look at that. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yep, and I was just briefly going through, I didn't see anything else, but I'm trying to read these as we go along. Thank you. That was it.
And that is the standard, I mean, Corporation Council has a template interlocal agreement, so you'll see agreements like that for all kinds of services that we provide, so.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Seeing none, let's prompt the vote.
Nice, just in time to vote for Pete.
Commissioner Cabell has made his entrance.
You have 6 days, right?
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, next up, we have item 9B, the 2025 first quarter IT development report. I need a motion. Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. Good morning.
Good morning.
Floor is yours.
All right, well, seeing as this, I think this is our first arrival in the new year, so I think we can still say Happy New Year. It's good to see you all again, although you changed up the seating, so I'm disoriented a little. Start with some introductions.
Good morning, Lenny. I am Kim Marengo. I am the Director of Application and Client Services in IT. Nice to meet you.
And I am Tammy Shepherd, the Business Relationship Manager that supports the elected officials. So nice to see you again. Yes.
And I'm Rod Davenport, CIO. So before us today, we have our quarterly transfers. This is it.
And by way of explanation for that, so every quarter, well, actually, mainly, I try to explain this every quarter, not just for you, but I'm gonna be a little more robust this quarter just to make sure you understand what you're being asked to approve. So inside IT, everybody tracks time, and that facilitates the ability for the county to be able to show the value of the IT services within the other departmental budgets. So because we don't know who's gonna call, who's gonna need help, we don't budget explicitly for this inside everybody's budget. We actually put the money in a separate line item. And then every quarter, based on exactly what time the IT department has charged, we take exactly the right amount of money and we make a budget amendment inside everybody's budget to budget for to increase the budget and also transfer the funds. So this is basically you approving the budget amendment to ensure that the time and money is accurately reflected inside the departmental budgets. So,
I like that.
Anybody have any questions or comments on what they saw in the report? Commissioner Cabell.
Yeah, hey Tammy, as we normally do every quarter, just, I know it's the first quarter, so there's a lot of numbers that are all the same on like both sides of this. Is there anything that seems to be, like, maybe it's too early, I understand, because it's quarter one, but, out of line or some, where you went, oh geez, we didn't expect X department to spend, 30% more than they did last year at quarter one.
yeah, are we having any spikes in support or anything like that? I punt that to Kim.
So nothing is unexpected. We do have some variation if you were to compare back to last year because of the types of projects that we have done and new systems that have been launched that would naturally create more support in some areas than others, but none of it is unexpected from what we planned.
Okay. Are you, there was an IT report that was going around or you were going to do something to assess how this works in terms of like the way that this like chargeback type model and, internal, cool, all right, thanks Cheryl.
Cheryl, come step up.
So what we're doing right now, right now we are meeting Kim, Tammy, and I on about every 3 to 4 week cadence and going through everything as it lies to try and get a 10,000 foot picture of how it works, what it's doing, and then we're going to look at it internally and make sure that we can make our own efficiencies. And then we also still have on the table a conversation about having Maximus come in and help us develop rates. We've talked about some terminology change. You know, Tammy and I were talking about there's a development budget and a ops budget. No one knows what that means. It's basically equipment and everything else. So we're talking about changing some of the terminology. Things haven't been changed in 20 years, but technology has been like zooming by us. So I wanna make sure that we all have a good handle on everything that's happening. So when we go to Maximus and explain it, they'll do something that's appropriate for us and what we're trying to achieve.
Okay, cool.
And I think we've had 2 meetings. And our next one is scheduled in 3 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Every week
Oh,
now.
it's every
Yeah.
week.
We did have a gap in between, so sorry.
I was on vacation.
Yes, we had a little
More
gap,
time
but
with
we're,
us.
Shoveling
Yeah.
snow in Florida.
it may be bi-weekly
Yeah.
now, but whatever time you can spare, we'll be happy to meet.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there are no other questions, let's go ahead and prompt the vote.
You have 6 days, 0 days.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have item 10, Economic Development Infrastructure Committee recommendations. Item 10A is the renewal of the Oakland County Microloan Program. Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. We have Belinda Turner Dubois on the screen. And
Kathy Rask.
Renee.
I'm gonna switch that to good afternoon, Belinda.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm Kathy Razigan. I'm the Administrator of Finance within the Economic Development team across the street. And we're here today, Belinda and I, with a request to renew some funding to the microloan program. This go around will be $125,000, and this is the 5th time that the county has put money for this program. And via SEED with Belinda Turner Dubois, it helps partner up with the SBA to get funding to small businesses for microloans in Oakland County.
See, I agree.
With that,
See it on mine either.
I don't know, should we have Belinda again give a little overview of seed lending? Would the commissioners like that, or are you all pretty familiar with it at this point?
Familiar.
I'm familiar. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah,
I haven't,
okay,
I don't know if it went on there.
okay.
I'm not seeing your name.
I know, I put it on, she sees my name, but. So, am I good to talk, ask a question?
You can ask.
Okay, I didn't know, because I put my name and I don't see it on there and she doesn't either.
Commissioner
I just
Lawson.
wondered if we could get a refresher of where the loans went to what small businesses by community, if that's something, I think we saw that once before.
Yes.
Can we get a refresher sent to all our emails, just like, I like to see how many, like in my district got loans and stuff, you know, just to promote it, so. if we-
Any time period you want it to go back to?
Just whenever is
maybe the
easy for
last-
you.
Okay.
I just like to see what districts are, you know, like what areas in Oakland County are taking advantage of it. And just, I like to see when I have a small business in my community that actually used it, I'm happy, so.
Yep.
If we could just get like some updated list would be great.
Yep, I'll work with Belinda, or she can get it, and we'll get it to Amy to then disperse.
And nothing urgent, but I think it's good for all of us to look at it, so, thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Commissioner Powell.
I just wanted to say that report, she should already have it, cause we recently had a meeting with her last year and she shared them numbers
I
and
remember
stuff with
seeing,
us, so
I remember
it'd be
seeing
easy
individual too, yeah,
for Belinda to get that together for you.
okay.
Yeah, I can just send that right out to you, no
All right, thank you. I know I saw one before, but I don't know how many years ago it was, you know, and I remember seeing, it was probably after COVID or something, I
Well, no,
remember
she
seeing.
got one up to date of
Okay.
last year.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it for me.
Commissioner Cavell.
Thank you. I'm just curious, this is a great program and all that, but I remember us talking about this during the budget season. And why is this coming to us now, and why not just have it be a part of the budget we passed in September?
So I think, and I've been doing this program for over 20 years, but we're gonna predate me a little bit. It's my understanding that the county itself cannot directly give funds right to seed for whatever reasons, legal reasons that may be. So to do, the conduit is the EDC, which is a separate 501c4 organization that does a bond program. The county can give the money to seed, then I get that, to EDC, I get our board together, and we then disperse the money to seed. So, I don't believe anything in the rationale behind that has changed, so we just keep doing the way it's always been done.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe $250 was actually allocated at that time, Commissioner, but they wanted it in 2 rounds of 125, 125.
Cool.
This is the 125.
Okay, anybody else? Commissioner Taylor.
Yep, I just wanted to make a comment that I'm happy to see SEED on here. I've worked with SEED when I was in Southfield on the council as council president, and they helped our small businesses tremendously. They don't just give you money, they educate you and help you to retain your job, your business. So they help you to not only fund it, but to learn how to make it last. It becomes your business over time, over years. It's not something that you start and stop. They're there throughout the whole thing supporting you. So I just wanted to say I'm glad to see that on here, and I am in support of this money for seed.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor.
Anyone else? Okay, let's prompt the vote.
You have 6 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Belinda. Okay, next up, we have item 10B, the Carlisle Townhomes Brownfield Plan located at 204 West New York in the city of Pontiac. Moved by Commissioner Powell, supported by Commissioner Smith Charles. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Kristen Wilfake with Oakland County in the Planning Division, and I have Brad Hansen here with me today. He oversees our Brownfield program, and before you today is the Brownfield plan for the 204 West New York project that we have in the Carlisle homes, townhomes. So I'll turn it over to Brad for more details.
Good morning. This is in partnership with our great partners, Community Housing Network. This will be 19 single-family homes or townhomes located on a former school site. The school site itself, the school building itself is beyond repair, so the school building will be coming down. The 19 townhomes will be built along with a community center, a 500-foot square foot community center, excuse me. The community center will hold after-school activities for kids and educational opportunities for residents. There also will be a playground built for the children. The 19 units will all be affordable or attainable. 8 units will be at 60% AMI, and there'll be 11 dedicated units for permanent supportive housing. The ask of the Brownfield TIF is $1.9 million, which includes demolition of the school site, public infrastructure improvements, and gap financing for the project for obtainable housing through the Housing TIF program at Brownfield. This is a 20-year payback period, and with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. I have Commissioner Long, followed by
I see my
Commissioner
name
Powell.
this time. Thank you.
Just for the members of the committee, you're not showing up on my screen.
Yeah,
as
it's showing up
having-
on mine now. It didn't before though, you know, but mine is now.
I'll refresh again,
Yeah,
but,
mine showed up now.
If I don't call on you, raise your hand.
All right, thank you. And my question is, because I'm not familiar with West New York in Pontiac, what school is being demolished? And is it any controversial issues with the school being demolished?
There is absolutely none. Actually, as the bird flies, it's probably about a mile north of here, right off Walton Boulevard.
Okay.
And so there's been no
What school was it?
I don't remember offhand what
Oh.
school was,
Do
cause
you know what name it is? Just so I,
Gwen, I don't know what the school was, but it was then purchased by Bishop William H. Murphy, a church.
okay.
Then the church has just been sitting there since they.
So it hasn't been a school in a while.
No,
You know
it has
when
not.
I'm
You know
thinking
what
of
school
the
that
other
is?
school
I can't
issue
even- Gwen.
in West Bloomfield, how people were
I
mad,
thought it
so
said
just
Kennedy.
making sure.
No, it ain't Kennedy.
It's not Kennedy.
No.
This might be
It's
on the
literally-
map.
Yeah, you're a Pontiac girl.
No, I know, she
No, she
probably
went-
would know
Yeah,
because it
because she
was,
went to school.
There's a lot of schools in Pontiac. I didn't
Okay, but there's
realize
no
I-
issue.
It's not on that
It
side of
wasn't a
Kennedy,
school
it's in that
recently, it's
neighborhood
not like
no, no,
past,
it's,
Right.
I walked through
or
it 10
Pico
years.
Harbor, you know, or
no,
West
no,
Bloomfield, the big
it's,
issue.
just so you know, it's not controversial.
Okay.
We so ready and happy that they are coming in to do something with that. It has at least been sitting, I would say at least 20 or more.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Alright,
walked to
perfect.
school about 10 years ago and the school was.
Yeah, cause I've been,
in this
10
shape
at least,
6 years
yes,
ago.
Okay,
yeah.
good, thank you.
So no controversy.
Okay, thank you, that's what I wanted to know. Sometimes tearing those
Anybody
schools
else?
down, people get mad.
Well, I was just,
Oh, yeah, you're next.
I just wanted to tell my colleagues, again, we are ecstatic, we are excited that somebody came to do something with this school. And of course, you know, we have a major, right now, just in the affordable area, Pontiac Housing Commission did a study, we're like 2,300 homes we need 2,300 homes just in our population of affordable, attainable housing for people in our city. So we're short. So the more houses we can get built, the better it is for our city, especially in this attainable space. So thank you. I hope you all support it. And just thanks to the county for stepping in to help with such a project in the city of Pontiac, because y'all know we need the help. So thank you.
Commissioner Cavell.
I think this is great as well. I just wanna make sure I understand the math on the tax capture part. So the tax capture means that because we are voting yes on this, assuming that happens, that then the property where it is, the taxes for it, it's the growth, not 100% of total, it's the growth.
After.
So the growth from, well, since it's a,
It's zero base.
so it's zero base,
Zero
exactly,
base value,
because
yeah.
school, okay. So then all the money for 20 years will go from, all the gain in tax value will go, or tax capture will go from this property to the developer to reimburse them for the cost. It won't go to the city for schools or roads or whatever. But
Correct, until the time of the period where this is
Right,
actually.
year 21, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true,
Okay.
wasn't it?
So which, you know, it's cool that we're doing this, but just in a perfect world,
Right, no.
we just invest in affordable housing more. We do that now, which is cool, but this is a cool tool to use and I'm glad we're making it happen, but just, you know, again, rhetorical devices, we're the budget committee talking about budgets. Be cool if $2.5 million just went to Pontiac for Pontiac stuff, but it's cool, this is great. And we're working with the stuff we got, so I love it.
It's just a little bit more full disclosure. This project, Community Housing Network, could actually go for a lot more money into.
Okay.
Because there is a huge gap that they're allowed in the new housing TIP program through the brownfield where they're only asking for, let me find it real quick, I'm sorry.
1.9?
Yeah, the 1.9 million in eligible activity through MISTA.
Mhm.
It was way beyond that. It would have gone to a full 30-year payback period if they so choose to go for that, but they decided, and I don't know if that was negotiations with the city, but they go for the 20-year payback
Okay.
period. But they are eligible for a considerable amount more of those dollars.
Well, it's nice of them, very cool.
Good stuff. I have a question if nobody else does. This community center that's supposed to be part of it,
Yeah.
500 square feet, it's like a tiny home.
Yep.
Also, who's gonna be in charge of that? It's this little building that's sitting out there next to the townhomes. Who has the keys to it? Who's gonna maintain it? Is that part of, you know, there gonna be a homeowners association or does the city gonna be in charge of that or?
I believe it's a community housing network project, so I'm not positive on the actual aspects of the community center afterwards. I would assume that either it's community housing network itself or there'll be some sort of association set up within the subdivision, if you will.
Yeah.
I think that's a loose end because we don't want a little building sitting out
Oh,
there
I
that
agree, yeah.
nobody's in charge of.
No, I agree with that 100%, yeah. I believe there are, I just don't have the direct answer. I can try to find out that and get back with you for
Yes,
sure.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, no,
Thank
that's a
you.
good question.
Commissioner Powell.
And I support what Markham's concern is because historically, the city has struggled with maintaining some of their properties. And we don't want that to happen with a nice subdivision, then it go down the drain. So I'm praying that our partners have plans to maintenance that, or again, association or something is in place for them to take care of it themselves.
I'm not 100% certain, but I'm fairly certain that the city of Pontiac will not be responsible for the community houses, either the
Okay.
community housing network or the actual subdivision itself. And what that looks like, I'll try to find out and report back.
Thank you.
I think that's a real concern of the
Very.
building who doesn't
Yeah,
really
that's a
have a
good point.
parent, you know?
Yeah.
As once,
No one
if
in
that
charge
gets
of
nailed
it?
down, that would make me a lot more
We're
comfortable.
assuming no one's
Me
in
as
charge
well.
of it. They designed it, so they
Correct.
probably have someone in charge, we just don't know their name.
Right.
And that's fine. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing no other questions, let's prompt the vote.
Oh, I'm so happy that place has been sitting there forever.
Yes,
I'm kinda, I know, honey.
I believe over 20. It's maybe pushing 30.
It's up in the morning.
You have 6 days, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
It's literally like when you come telegraph, it comes to an end. You bust that
Oh, I know what
right,
you're
and
talking
it's
about.
this first street, and it's a school back there.
Kind of from here.
Well, no, telegraph
Telegraph.
to Walton. Telegraph where
Oh, that
telegraph
way.
in and Walton.
Okay,
And you bust that right, and
okay,
it's this first street, and it's, you see it. the
okay,
school
I know what
right
you're
there.
talking about, this one, okay.
Yeah, it's like directly north of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here.
All right, I got it, north, okay, got it, thanks.
All right, our next item is item 11, public health and safety
It's Buffer houses.
recommendations.
It's a very
11A
old school.
is grant acceptance from the Michigan Commission on Law Enforcement Standards for the 2025 Continuing Professional Education Program. Moved by Commissioner Long, supported by Commissioner Powell. Good morning.
Good morning, Gail Pierce, your fiscal officer, and Major Chris Wondrek. And we have Lieutenant Workman who oversees training on the sidelines in case there's any detailed questions. This first grant acceptance is from MCOLS. It's $629,000. It's their pilot program that they're requiring continuing ed for each licensed officer. So what they're requiring is 24 hours of training for each officer, 8 hours of mental health crisis training, and then 16 hours of agency specific. So again, this is a pilot program. We received our first part of the funding last year, and then this is a continuation. So we're happy to get this amount of funding and working to, you know, cover our in-service training with these funds.
Okay. I'll open it up to the floor for questions. Commissioner Cabell.
Hey, sorry I missed this one yesterday, but we had worked with OCHN about CIT. We helped with that. Does OCHN have any role in this, or this is just going to you?
No, they don't. This is strictly for MCOL certification to maintain our licensing. As far as training goes, this is something we've been begging MCOLs to do for a while. As you know, there's no standards other than shooting a firearm as far as keeping your certification to be a law enforcement officer. So they started this program about mid-year last year as a pilot for 3 years. And basically what they're saying is we think we can do better, have better officers on the street. So 3 years of continuing education, 24 hours per year for the next 2 years. They're gonna see if the departments can do that successfully with the time and resources they have. So they are giving us this to support that mission over the next 3 years.
So it's more.
Okay.
So it's strictly for the MCO's licensing.
Got it.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, just to follow up on that.
Commissioner Long.
Thank you. So then it's more than the gun, the shooting, I don't know what you wanna call it. 'Cause
Right,
I know they go to multi-lakes, so I see them all doing their
So
target practice.
we have a lot of training that requires
Right.
firearms. The state requires each officer to maintain their certification to shoot a firearms qualification course that MCOLS designates to us, and we do that every year, and then we have to report that back to the state. That, until now, is the only requirement the state had to maintain your license as a law enforcement officer. What they've done now is they're saying, hey, we can do better. Let's
So
get
there's other
24 hours of
classes.
additional, let's
Okay.
not just fire weapons, let's get 24 hours of other training like mental health, de-escalation, implicit bias, all of these things. they're gonna mandate us a certain amount of hours every year and then give us a certain amount of hours that we can do to still do the stuff that we normally do.
Okay,
at our
that's good.
departments.
I knew they do that, that's
Right.
training, the gun. Okay, firearms,
All kinds of
firearms
stuff.
shooting, yeah, I always see them leaving all of them there, they're whatever, they have to keep up with that, so, but I'm glad to add other things and
So
so
are we.
that's good. Yes, so, good, thank you.
Do we decide what those other things are, or
They
do
mandate-
they mandate certain
So they give us a topic. Last year, it was, I believe that I can look at the list, but it was like ethics, interpersonal skills, things like that. It was 4 hours that were mandated, and we had to do an additional 8 on any topic, basically, that's sports law enforcement, for a total of 12. This year, it's 24, it's 8 of what they're mandating. It's mental health, we're doing suicide prevention, we're doing some implicit bias stuff, and we're doing duty to intervene to kind of support those 8 hours. And then we'll have 16 hours that we have to report back to them. What's nice is we can't just say, hey, we're doing this training and call it a day. We have to send that in through the system. They have to approve what we're doing. We have to submit an outline, syllabus, all that stuff, what the requirements are. If they approve it, then we can use that for the continuing education program.
Oh, good.
Commissioner Lau?
It just sparked another one. So are these, this is like my nursing, continuing education, because I keep my license. And so the state of Michigan, says you have to do this,
Yes.
for 2 hours. Is it coming from the state?
Yeah, it's coming from
Okay.
MCOs, the state licensing.
Okay, good. So it's similar to what I have to do
Yeah,
every
yeah,
2 years.
same thing my
Okay.
wife does, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, you know
Commissioner
that.
Cabell, for a second time.
So then, just to make sure, Lieutenant Workman, the baseline is still the firearms training annually
We still have to do that on top of this.
on top of this, okay?
That doesn't count for the CPE.
Okay.
We still have to do that it's only once a year that we have to get everybody in to fire their weapons.
Okay.
We do it more than that as a department, we think it's important. But yeah, that's separate from this in-service requirement.
Okay, and the in-service requirement from the state is a total of like 20, you said 24 hours?
24 hours this
of
year and 24
continuing
hours next year.
Got it, thank you.
Good.
And then they'll look at the program and see if they're gonna continue.
Cool.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. No other comments or questions? Let's prompt the vote.
There's 68, 0 nays.
Motion carries.
Get some money for it, yeah.
Next, we have item 11B, grant acceptance from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives for the FY 2025 overtime reimbursement funds. Moved by Commissioner Smith-Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. All right.
So this is a grant that will get up to $217,405. It's $21,740.50 per task force officer. Currently, we have 10 working with the ATF, and this is based in the city of Pontiac.
Oh, okay.
And this allows, anytime there's a firearm used in a crime, it allows us to have additional resources to help investigate it, cover the overtime cost.
Oh, good.
All right. Commissioner Cavell.
I just want to lift up, as I did in public health and safety yesterday, that when we were working on the first gun buyback, before you shut up, Lenny, the sheriff was, Under Sheriff Childs would be on the calls, but the sheriff chose not to participate in Pontiac or anywhere else that they do jurisdictions. And also so did the ATF. So I think it's ironic or hypocritical or something, whatever it is. And this is stuff above our local pay grade, right? It's ATF federal stuff. But it's just one of the weird things about where we are in the world, where the sheriff says we're not gonna do stuff about, even if it's somewhat symbolic, gun buyback, crime, suicide prevention, guns in Pontiac, where we have 10 people embedded who are supposed to work on alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Just wanna lift up that kind of goofiness of the whole situation. So we had to use Auburn Hills and all these other law enforcement agencies to do gun buybacks instead of the sheriff.
But we did participate in the gun buybacks. We tested all the guns, I believe, in Southfield.
Right.
So we did participate.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
You didn't, though, participate in collecting them in Pontiac for Pontiac residents. They had to go to Auburn Hills if they knew about it. Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's prompt the vote.
You have 68, 0 nays.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate the
you.
support.
Safe day, have a safe day.
Thank you.
Before the ice storm,
Charlie,
that's
you
right.
voted yes.
It's supposed to be nice, cause I keep hearing it, but I don't see it.
No, this one, I get it. It is what it is. It's fellowship, it's whatever.
All right, thank you.
Oh, hey, attendant work.
Thank you.
Yeah, they thought they were running. They thought.
They saw Charlie coming, uh-oh.
Sorry, it's on the public, I gotta be quiet.
All right, next we have item 12.
Just kidding.
Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee recommendations. We only have one today. 12A, grant acceptance.
Understood.
Fiscal year 2025 DNR Urban and Community Forestry Inflation Reduction Act grant. Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, supported by Commissioner Powell. We have an urban forestry over there.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, Chair Barkum, I don't know if we had
Oaks.
some scheduling issues. I know they weren't able to make Lago as well, but I can, remind the board that this is a $150,000 grant acceptance that does not obligate any future funds from the county.
that's good.
And this will be moving it forward to the full board for consideration.
Okay. And this was
future
requested
monies.
by Parks.
Correct.
Commissioner Cavell, followed by Commissioner Powell.
I think it's just cool that it was bipartisan. Everyone voted yes. How nice is that? It's great, especially with a name like what it is. Cool. Go team.
Commissioner Powell.
The only thing I have a question for my Parks Committee people, with Water for Oaks, we doing a lot of adjustments to Water for Oaks.
Yeah.
And we still trying to take care of trees out there though and stuff? Is it still because we kinda still in the, what we gonna do with it, but we still wanna maintain it type attitude? Okay, got it, okay. I was just making sure.
I think this.
And there'll probably be more
this.
to come after today, when we meet today,
Oh, okay.
to get a better feel. We're gonna be huddling up to figure out where to go
Plans, yeah.
with a
And
lot
then
of
I
our.
do know, this is kinda off subject, but Chris invited us all to this, it's something
Fire
different.
pits and flannels.
Yeah, it's a different event, but I'm intrigued to go check it out and see what's going
I
on,
didn't
so.
live 25
I thought it
miles
was
away.
cool. Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
gonna see.
How to do it.
Well, I'm in support of it. I just wanted to ask my park team to see what's going on. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Taylor, Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question. I saw that it said it has a budget adjustment. I didn't see it, and maybe it's just because I haven't seen it yet. I was without my computer over the weekend. I'm for this. I'm gonna support it. And if it's a grant and we're getting a certain, is it a grant match? Is that what the adjustment would be, or?
I don't think there's a
The
match.
adjustment should just be to accept the funds, so just to
Yeah.
increase the line item in which the funds will be put in.
Perfect,
Yeah,
perfect.
I don't think there's a I think it's just
Perfect, thank
150,
you.
right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then the expense to spend it.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for explaining.
Which I do believe, they may have added it, after you had seen the agenda. I do believe right now it's in there, the Schedule A budget amendment that'll reflect that.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
The staff is prepared.
Right.
All right, any other questions or comments? Let's prompt the vote.
You have 68, 0 nays.
All right. Next, we have our second public comment, item 13. Does anybody have anything they want to bring before the committee? I see.
Our favorite Cheryl.
Hello. I'm trying to stay to 3 minutes, but these are all good things. First, Cheryl Johnson, Deputy CFO, I just wanted to let you know that late in December, I found out that our financial statement, our ACFR, received an award from GFOA again. It's over 30 years that we get the award. There are certain things that have to be in our financial report to achieve the award from GFOA, which is the Government Financial Officers Association. It's the national association that all government officers rely on, training. They do these awards for budget and for the PAFR, which is I can't remember what it stands for, but it's like the picture version of the ACFR. And we received that award for the 23 statements, and we also received that for our 23 financial statements. We anticipate that we continue to receive that award. They send us comments, we make those, and it's reviewed by our peers that go through and look and make sure that all these numbers tick and tie and everything in it is cool. And so we got that award again this year. As I said, it's a 30-year
Congrats.
a 30-year trend right now. But the best news is we had two bond issuances coming up for WRC. So based on the regulations, we have to also get new evaluations on our bond rating, and Moody's and S&P both reaffirmed our AAA bond rating. So those are just my couple of comments, not really a space to put them in anything official, but I did want to let everybody on the finance committee know we really appreciate all of your support for the stuff that you help us to achieve these things, these awards.
So we will forward the actual printed reports from both rating agencies so that everyone sees it.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Moody's press release came out yet, I looked for it, but it should be out today.
Yeah, shortly, Federici.
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, team. Tell the department we said thank you.
That's right.
Thank goodness we hired those lab accountants, huh?
There's no other,
The Republicans are like, we don't need.
public comment.
Bullshit, bullshit.
Keep you guys in line. There's no other public comment? Is there any other business to come before finance? Seeing nothing, I will call this meeting adjourned at